health trends and diet fads, they continue to flood social media. You've probably seen them on Instagram and whatnot. And weight loss experts say that 7 of the 13 most popular diets today are so complex you need a scientific degree to understand them.
Yes, new studies show that 95% of us spend less than half an hour on research before adopting a new health trend, and that a third of us think that the more complex and scientific that a diet sounds, the more accurate we believe it to be.
OK, so why is that, and why are so many diets kicked into touch within a week? Joining us now to get to the bottom of it is Chief Medical Officer at VOI, Dr. Earim Chaudry. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Am I being a bit mean by just saying losing weight is as simple as eating less and getting off the sofa more?
Well, I think it's great you bring up this point. I think the mantra around move more, eat less has been around for quite a while, and we're seeing the science is always evolving in the area of obesity. We know a third of people today are obese, 2/3 are overweight or obese, and so we know this is a huge public health problem, and our current methods and approaches just haven't worked. And so I think people are struggling in being able to solve their weight. I think we've seen that people are able to lose weight, but whether they're able to sustain that, that's the main challenge we're seeing right now.
It seems to me like there's a lack of education when it comes to what people should actually be putting inside their bodies. I mean, 95% of people spend less than half an hour researching a diet before adopting it.
Yeah.
You don't actually know what you're doing.
I think that's a problem. I think broadly what we've seen is that there's just so much information and there's so much exposure to social media and misinformation. There's a plethora of diets dating back almost from the 1960s, from Atkins to low carb to intermittent fasting, paleo. There's just alkaline diets. I've heard sort of cabbage soup diets.
Yeah.
And at VOI, we've just seen a plethora of people who come to see us who've been trying to lose weight for over 10 years and they've tried a multitude of diets and failed. And it's not necessarily just the lack of information, it's actually being able to implement what they're learning and what they're hearing about. But I think based on the research that we've done, people are only understanding a very small component. And they're certainly having a bias for what they're hearing that's increasingly complex. So we call this authority bias. So when people hear complex terms, they actually believe the diet's more credible, and that's what our research demonstrated.
Yeah. It sounds clever, doesn't it? It sounds like it's got some substance to it. What do you make of ozempic and other weight loss drug injections?
That's what I was going to ask.
Sorry, are we just going to eliminate diets altogether with these so-called wonder drugs?
Yeah, so I'm always keen to look at obesity as a complex, multifaceted problem and not to be reductive to just one solution, because it's different components that will move the needle for individuals. We know that really with obesity, we're sitting at the intersect of biology, where almost 80% of why we're obese is due to our genetics and our inherited components. And then there's lifestyle components and the environmental factors. So GLP-1 medications, certainly a lot of interest in them. Why? Because I think it's been challenging to treat obesity. And this is the first substantive drugs we've seen where we're getting life-changing results. So at VOI, we've seen people who have been trying for so long and they're able to lose 10, 20% of their weight within 6 to 12 months. And actually what they're finding is that they're able to keep that weight off. The kind of individuals that we were seeing, they said they couldn't even look in the mirror. 90% of them saying, we don't like looking at ourselves. They lacked confidence to go shopping. And so the impact on their lives has been quite transformative. But in terms of the medications themselves, they're one tool which we're seeing a lot of promise, but there are other components you also need to try to work on to be able to move your weight and your well-being.
How helpful or unhelpful do you find social media when it comes to talking about diet culture? Because we have more access, don't we, as you say, to conversations about diets and different ways of losing weight. But you also have anybody offering that advice. It's not just nutritionists or medical experts. Does that concern you?
There is a degree of concern there, but I think it's great that their conversation is happening. Like, we're aware of a lot of individuals who are suffering in silence. They've been fobbed off by health professionals. I mean, there's a lot of fat shaming that goes on. And so they're able to at least access some information. What I would encourage people to do is to try to then look at that information, try and critique it. But I don't think you need to fully understand every element of it yourself. I think seek help, go speak to a health professional. I would say myself, even health professionals themselves lack the training in nutrition and weight loss. And so you need to potentially look at more specialist services that have a bit more insight onto actually what's going to be appropriate for you. I think also with social media, it's always important about contextualizing what you see and learn to your own life. Because what we would implement in terms of an individual who's potentially a CEO, super busy, or a single mum, that changes dramatically. And I think it's a fallacy to think that we have these static lives. There's always a birthday happening, or that you're going on holiday, and your goals.
Or dinner out with friends.
Dinner out with friends, and you want to be able to enjoy those things, but be able to have sustainable results. There's a huge difference between losing weight and maintaining weight, because your biology fights against you.
Yeah, defo. Look, it's wedding season. Lots of weddings coming up. My Instagram is full of my friends getting dolled up and, heading to big gatherings. Any tips for people to lose weight safely in a quick, relatively quick amount of time to get in top-tip shape for weddings?
Yeah, and I think great question. I do strongly believe in this as a marathon. So ultimately, if your aim is for having a great sort of weight, your health being at a top level, you really want to look at sustainable lifestyle changes. So that means looking at your nutrition, looking at your exercise, cutting down on your ultra-processed foods, trying to maintain habits that you can achieve. I think very much we get paralyzed by perfection and think very binary. I often get asked, what's the healthiest vegetable? What's the healthiest oil? Well, actually, it's more doing 80% of great things and good things and actually giving yourself a little bit.
Come on, Earim, we want a fad diet for the next 6 weeks to get our viewers slim and
that's the problem,
trim.
isn't it? People want the quick fix, but it is, as Dr. says,
sometimes you need
it's
it.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It is a lifestyle, though. It's just committing yourself, isn't it? As you say, 80% being good.
Committing yourself, and also
20% of what you like.
I think you mentioned a call, someone who'd emailed in, but an individual who actually loses weight actually realises they actually have to take less and less calories because your body adapts to try to regain the weight.
Yeah.
Because we're built on trying to survive where there's been a poverty of food in the past, but actually we live in an environment right now where you can get a plethora of food whenever you want on tap.
Same in reverse as well. When you become more muscular and fitter, you need more calories to just maintain your maintenance levels. And the science, I love all the biology and the science of it.
It does.
When you're losing weight and you're in a calorie deficit, after so many weeks, say a couple of months, and the weight loss has plateaued, I found from research and self-experience that it's a good idea to have a big feast of one day where you feast and you eat over the calories, and it kind of kick-starts your metabolism.
Your metabolism starts to reduce as you lose weight. So if you lose it with rapid velocity, then actually you'll find that your body just kind of starts to try to gain back those calories.
Yeah.
And we call it the set point. Trying to not get too scientific, given that we're already talking about this being quite complex.
Yeah.
But actually your body wants to try to revert back to what it was before you'd lost the weight. And so you're really fighting your biology. So you've got to use multiple methodologies, from the behavioural change to medications to coaching to really making yourself accountable. But I think most people know what to do. It's really trying to support them in the implementation of that for their lives and sticking to it.
Exactly.
Consistency is king.
Good to see you.